Hello everybody, this is Mayor Mike and I'm at 50 Chapman Place. This is our alternative town hall as we complete renovations that'll probably take the better part of a year or all of 2023 at 740 Main Street. So only a couple of questions got sent in to me this particular week, and then I'll take a minute or two at the end just to talk about the impending storm because it looks like the biggest one we're going to get for this winter season. Hopefully the biggest one. Not in a hopeful way, but more like I hope there's not any more coming and we can just move into spring. So that being said, let me jump to the questions first. The first one comes from Decembia, and she says, in the past I was able to fill out a request to have a pothole filled in front of my house. It opens up every winter. I checked the website and I only saw the availability for certain streets. Is there a way to submit a request? The cars traveling by, it's very loud every time they fall into the pothole. So Decembia, the answer is yes. You should have received a response directly from Jacinia out of my office, but this is a Q alert, and that could be an application on your phone, or that can be from the town's website, or if you don't have access to the internet or the phone app, you can call us and then we'll input it for you. Essentially, as was described in the email, you select Q alert, you enter the particular thing, and in this particular case, it's a road issue, it's a pothole, and then try to give us a little bit of information. So for instance, just don't say there's a pothole on Oak Street. Give us there's a pothole of Oak Street in the northbound, southbound lane in front of house number 265, something like that. That'll allow us to get there more quickly and address the concern that you raised to us. So the answer to Decembia is yes, use Q alert, either the phone app, the website, or give me a call in my office and we'll input it for you. The second question comes from Lisa, and it was more of a statement than a question. Why are parents allowed to pull up on the tree belt in front of Goodwin School? And the grounds are kept very nice, and then you see this awful muddy belt. The neighbors to the north and south have had to put stakes up in the yard to keep the cars out of them. This is horrible looking. And Lisa, completely agree. We've had quite a back and forth with the residents. I've stopped by, knocked on some doors, knocked on some windows and said, hey, can you please move it along? But it's a neighborhood school. There's a considerable amount of people who live in the close proximity. And I don't know, I'm gonna sound like my parents. We were sent off to school, whatever the weather was. It was about a 1.5 mile walk, and it was good for us. But a lot of residents, a lot of parents want to take their children in the car, and this is where they drop them off, this is where they pick them up. We have had police on numerous occasions move them along only for a different crop of parents to come back the next day. We did a survey, and the survey came back with overwhelmingly more than 80%. Provide more information to the residents. Well, we have. We've done it through the PTA, the PTO. We've changed crossing guards. We've added additional police enforcement. We've sent it out in the newsletter. We've done it on social media. We just can't seem to curb the desire of parents to either pick up or drop off their children in those locations, and to do it more safely, they pull on the tree belt and they make a mess of it. So this isn't an area where I think more police is going to resolve it. I just don't see ticketing parents who are simply dropping off their children to and from school makes a lot of sense. But yet, at the same breath, I wish the parents had a little bit more respect for the damage that they're doing to the particular tree belt. So that being said, I've sent it over to Nate Quinnell. He's our superintendent, and Ben Whitaker. He's our chief operating officer at the board. They will put out more information to the parents saying it's unsightly, let's not do it anymore. But I think that's a problem that is going to be vexing to solve at least everybody's satisfaction. Now, let me take a minute and talk about the impending storm. It should hit into Tuesday morning very early, and it should last all the way into Wednesday. So this is what they call a long duration storm. And it should, if the forecast is right, provide us with somewhere between 3 to 6 or 4 to 8 inches of snow. Right now the forecast is split. And because it's 50 degrees today when I'm taping this, because the ground is not frozen, we're asking our plow drivers to stay away from the curbs as best they can. And that means that they'll leave some of the snow on what we call a snow shelf, and that'll predominantly be either on the curb or a little bit in the street. And it is going to be 50 degrees on Thursday and a little bit, not quite as warm, but Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And there'll be considerable melting. So a lot of this snow will be gone by the weekend. So what we don't want to do is go curb to curb perfectly and really tear up some, because as you know, no matter what, we generally handle curbs here and there in terms of demolishing them. So asking our guys and ladies who are doing the plowing to be careful. Bear with us out there. It's a long duration storm. There will be a blue light and in all likelihood a parking ban probably sometime early Tuesday morning. And our plow drivers will be deployed also probably early Tuesday morning in the wee hours, 2, 3, 4 a.m. They will plow a single plow route up and down each of the main routes. When I say main routes, those are called arterial roads. That would be Brewer Street, that would be Oak Street, that would be Hills Street, that would be Forbes Street. Those are the main ones. And they'll also be plowing some of the collector roads that bring cars into the neighborhood. They'll do that first, and then they will make several passes because it's a long duration storm. And then as they can, they'll break away and they'll do the less busy neighborhood roads and the cul-de-sacs. Those in some instances will be the final roads that'll be done. So remember, keeping the main roads open is our primary task. Those are arterial and collector roads, and I gave you some examples. Our secondary task, once the storm ends, is to go back to those main roads, open them up curb to curb, and then the secondary roads, those that feed the neighborhoods and the cul-de-sacs. The last that will be done will be the cul-de-sacs. Our drivers are required to take mandatory rest after so many hours by contract and for safety reasons. So if you don't see them out there, it's not that they're not working, it's that they've been out there so long, they're required to take a rest for several hours and then they'll be back out. East Hartford has a wonderful track record of clearing our roads quickly, but again, long duration storm, not sure what this is going to throw at us. There will be a parking ban, watch for the blue lights. There will be parking at the schools. See the website to see where you can park if you're in need of some off-street parking to avoid that parking ticket once the parking ban goes into effect. Don't travel unless you have to, but East Hartford roads will be open as best they can. And all that I ask is be safe out there. So this is Mayor Mike from 50 Chapman Place. Take care.